Ladies and gentlemen, who tells you?
Yo, to Fana. How are we doing on this fine, lovely Friday? Hello, Magenta. How are you?
I'm good, but I just realized we're on the wrong sides.
We are. Yes,
I
that's
only
right.
just realized that
Actually no.
now.
I was going to fix it in a second, but I don't think it'll work.
Change it. I'm sure everyone else is just as bothered.
Oh, it's there. It's all right. There's no order to things. They'll get over it. How's your Friday been?
Busy, to be honest. I had a really busy day and I forgot my bus card, so life was longer, but I got my results back from uni and I am now officially graduating with a bachelor's degree. So, woo!
Congratulations.
My
I'm sure
suffering was
everyone
not
will
for nothing.
join me in the Go you.
How about you?
Everyone's telling us to swap. They're not happy with it.
Oh, I told you they weren't gonna like it.
Well, I'm going to do something super sneaky. Entertain the chat for 2 seconds while I fix what I've just done.
Entertain the chat. Oh,
And I'll see you in a
that's
second.
lot. Thanks for the love, everyone. I really appreciate it. I've been very much. I was pretty sure I passed, but you just want to get that like confirmation and that definite yes. So having the yes is definitely making me feel a lot better. And now I can wait ages and forget about it and then graduate. So yeah. Oh, thank you, Mr. Arvids, for with $2 with congrats, Magenta. Thank you so much. How has everyone's week been? It's been a long one, but woo! Where did the lights go?
I don't know.
And you're still on the wrong side.
I know. Sorry. Why am I so? What is this?
It's
Hang on, let's
alright.
fix
It's
this.
been a long week.
Hey, there we go. Okay, we're back. We're back. I'm not as
Sorry,
fancy as I was
Fana.
looking
You're
before.
just gonna have to deal with it. We've changed sides of the bed for the night.
Yeah, that'll do. That'll do.
Yeah,
Sorry about that, guys.
Right. She'll be right.
We'll sort it out. All right. Well,
Yes.
let's jump into a bit of a recap of the week. Obviously, a very exciting one with You're making it worse. No, I'm not. I'm making it better. Very exciting one with the Hikoi on Tuesday, which I can probably join everyone in saying. Well, they can join me in saying that it was a fantastic, a very positive day, a very exciting one, and just something that was really, I don't know, tugged at my heartstrings a little bit. I felt really good about the whole thing. I felt like it was, yeah, unity, very positive. I don't know. I mean, you were there, so you probably have more. You got to feel the vibes.
To be fair, the vibes were getting pretty tired near the end of the day. Like, it was a long day, and I wasn't even up as early as some people were. I know that some of our community members actually woke up at like 4 a.m. to cheer on the Hīkoi. So, like, congrats to them, because like getting up at 9 was getting there at 9 was hard enough for me. But it was a great day. Like, just so many good vibes. Everyone was just so lovely. They were handing out free kai, which was just so cool.
Good.
Yeah, like we went to the concert afterwards, and there was like they were handing out like chicken and rice and like free vegetable, like fruit and stuff like that. David Seymour could never. So it was just a real great day. Like, it was awesome too, because there was just like a lot of accessibility considerations that had been made. So
good.
They had cool things for people with blind and low vision, who they were able to hold on to things so that they could kind of walk through the Hikoi and actually walk through the crowds and stuff. Like, there was priority at the front of, the Hīkoi and the barriers for rangatahi and kaumātua. So it was just really cool to see everyone just having a good time and just so much singing. It was always beautiful whenever the crowd would start singing and you just kind of, I couldn't join every song because obviously I didn't know all of them, but
Yeah.
it was really beautiful to just hear so many beautiful voices all just singing for, a united cause. Definitely
cool.
glad I wore sunglasses so I could cry and no one could tell.
I think it's one of the things I was really gutted about is because the microphones probably wouldn't, they're only going to pick up probably the main person and then like people around, but it would be amazing to be what it was like to be in that crowd where it was like anyone who could hear was just like, they were all singing. Like imagine 80,000 people singing. Must be like a stadium.
Yeah. Because
It's
the
so cool.
thing is that the crowds were so big that you'd actually have multiple different songs at different parts. So like sometimes I would hear like, some of another song because obviously that whoever was close, it was difficult at points, trying to actually relay all the different chants and waiata, and so it was just but there was I've seen heaps of different videos of songs that I didn't hear or see or signs that I didn't hear or see because there was just too many people. It was insane.
A pretty cool day. It's a cool bit of history that you've been able to witness firsthand. That's pretty cool. You can be the person that's go to your children or your great grandchildren.
Well, I'm not having kids,
and the ones
but
in between.
I'm sure I'll tell someone's kids.
Well,
Someone's
nieces,
kids will be
someone's
told.
children, someone's children will get told the story of 2024.
Oh yeah, I've already found like a couple. I found at least one photo of my head in like one of the news articles because obviously the green hair helps.
I was almost in the pan on one of those from the one in Christchurch, the small one they had.
The hospital.
There was a
oh wait, no. Oh, sorry. The small Christchurch one.
No,
yes, the Christchurch
yes, there was a cameraman just to the side in front of me, and he panned around and panned around and panned around. Basically panned. I saw it in the video. It got just straight to me, and then it stopped, and I was like, "Damn it!" So I wonder if I just stuck out so much they're like, "No, that looks weird." Get rid of the pink-haired girl.
And I just seen this comment from Tyson Kingy. Hearing waiata ring out throughout the streets with people just immersing themselves in it was my highlight. And I absolutely total that because let's be real, some beautiful singers in that crowd. So it sounded very, very good.
Oh wow. Let's discuss what else happened this week. So obviously we had the Hikoi. And also a little BHN props up to Pat for his daytime stream. It's now sitting at 8,000 views, which is one of our most successful videos. So
pretty insane numbers.
Claps for that. That's huge.
Right.
We also had Timothy Paul, who was she's a Green MP on Tuesday night after the big day. And that Hikoi is now estimated at 84,000 people. Is pretty cool. So that makes it officially the biggest, I guess, not necessarily, but protest, or Hikoi.
Activation.
Activation's probably a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it wasn't very righty, protest.
I mean,
riots,
that's the thing is that it is a protest because I mean, the way that we do our politics is a bit different, You don't have to be screaming and yelling obscenities to be protesting.
No. Oh, it's kind of like a strike in a way. It's kind of like we're here. We're doing our thing.
We were definitely present and visible. That is for sure.
And I hope David Seymour was shitting his pants.
You can tell he was so gutted to see the absolute sea of people. Of course, because that guy's going to want to
see it from the beehive, right? You must be able to see from.
He would have. Yeah.
You would have
seen
all
been able to go to the 9th floor and just see the whole thing.
No, he would have been like, "Nah, fake news. I'm staying on the 1st floor, so I don't know what you're talking about."
Exactly.
He was running away from it. Coolio. We also had this week. We had the nurses' union. Calling a nationwide strike over the pay disputes with Health NZ or Te Whatu Ora. forgotten if to order in Health New Zealand. They're the same thing, just in case.
Just to remind
Anyone-
everyone, since they
Yeah,
like to
no one's
take
forgotten?
away our
Okay.
deal. Yes, yes.
I forgot what Health NZ was. I was like, what's Health NZ? Ah, Te Whatu Ora.
Yeah. Nah, yeah.
I got so
same
used to
also.
it. And they're playing a strike on December 3rd.
Yes,
Harry
which-
Tam also dropped in this week on Wednesday to discuss the gang patch ban, the gang patch law, the gang patch ban law, which came into effect, would have been yesterday at midnight. So banning gang insignia in public spaces. And you had a comment on that one, Magenta?
Oh, I mean, that's just. I just don't understand why we're creating more like work for police right now. They've already had to take police officers away from like domestic violence issues and family harm to put them out on the beat. And now we also want them to start cracking down on some pictures on a t-shirt. Like, I don't know. I just think it's yet another example of this government just wasting money and just distracting the issues, and also just neglecting things that actually need to be addressed and dealt
Yeah.
with. Like, we've still got supermarkets, price gouging, powers going up. There are so many things happening that the government should be stepping in on, and yet here we are just banning fucking a picture.
Yeah.
What are we, Russia? That's what Putin did with that stupid picture of Putin in with like rainbow in the background and like makeup. He like
Him on a
banned-
horse?
No, I think he might have.
Oh,
been
no,
gay,
hang on.
to
That was,
be
no,
fair.
he wanted that one. That was
No,
the
yeah, it's one
propaganda.
where he looks basically gay, and so he wanted to ban it.
Of course.
Because,
Of course,
you
he probably-
know.
Typical. Yeah, so not a great week for that, but yeah, let's keep our eyes peeled on that one, see what happens with that. And obviously someone did mention the table tennis, of course the table tennis. I look
Yes.
forward to that live stream, the pay-per-view at VTAM. I'm here for it. Oh, sorry, it's Pat v Harry or Tam v Britain.
Brendan, yeah, that's a. That's,
Sorry, Pat.
that's not a. Yeah, let's not go with the last names. That's a bit.
Pat v Tam is good
rough.
because it kind of goes with the three-letter names. Anyways, and lastly, one of the other big stories for the week was, well, I suppose it's kind of both here and there. So in America, Emma Vigeland or Vigland? Vigeland, I'm going to assume.
Yeah, Vigeland.
It
I'm not
was
sure.
Vigeland?
I can't
Vigeland.
remember how you pronounced the last one.
From the, I mean, I might have to look up a video just to double check that one. But that's majority. She's from the Majority Report and was on Piers Morgan's Uncensored. She almost got censored because she kept talking over him. Again, the wonderful debate that everyone is probably sick of hearing at this point, which is transgender people in bathrooms and assigned gender bathrooms, and it is a ridiculous thing that just keeps coming up over and over again to distract people from what's really important.
I also
And
think
sadly,
this comment is saying it's
yes.
Vigland, I think.
Oh, Vigland. Okay.
Yes.
I just,
Thanks,
good to
Pat.
get it right. Sadly, we saw something similar here in New Zealand this week regarding trans youth and trans rights there as well, which we'll get into in a second. So the other news, well, I suppose it's first on my list. The other news this week that we missed out on was, of course, the transgender health. No, that's not. What am I doing?
Yes, the
Have you got
gender
it open?
affirming care under review. I do not have it open, but I will.
I do, but it's
Oh, you got
taking
it?
a second for my
that's fine.
brain to
Well, I
do
mean,
the
we've
thing.
obviously touched on some of it last night because obviously it's quite interesting how it always seems like this narrative when we talk about trans people is always our trans women. And you know
Yes.
what? Us trans men, when we go in the bathroom, we are taking a risk and we are putting ourselves in sometimes a really gross, icky space just to feel affirmed. And if that doesn't tell you that it's not as much of it's not really a choice, like, I don't know what'll tell you guys. Let's just say, boys' bathrooms are gross, and I much prefer the girls' bathrooms.
So non-gendered bathrooms, just
Well,
multi-use.
yeah, I mean, almost it's like the bathroom in your house, that anyone who comes to your house uses, and you don't get weird about.
Eh,
I don't know.
I get weird about using other people's toilets, but that's completely different. It's not because other people use.
Yeah, that's
No,
like
I
a
know what
whole
you mean.
different thing. No one
It's a
likes
different
to have
kind
to
of
go
weird.
poop at someone
Yeah.
else's house. Like
No,
one
that's
likes
a
doing
different kind of weird.
that.
Right, just so I've got this on the screen. So, transgender health professionals worried about public consultation over gender affirming healthcare. Regulatory measures could include restricting prescribing of puberty blockers in the context of gender affirming care, but not its use in other contexts, the ministry said. It has opened public submissions asking if further precautions or restrictions are needed and what impacts this could have on our young people. Public consultation on a medical matter is inappropriate, trans health professionals say. Does that ring any bells? Abortion care, women's right to their bodies? Anyone? No? No one's? Okay. Just, kind of the same thing, isn't it? The looming possibility of restrictions is already having an impact on gender diverse youth. PATHA? Do you know what PATHA is? PATHA.
Oh my God. I'll just quickly look it up because I've looked at it a million times. Professional Association for Transgender Health Aotearoa. They're basically
cool.
the professional space that they write the guidelines for the gender affirming healthcare in the country.
There you go. The more you know. President Jennifer Shields told RNZ, the evidence brief has only been out for 24 hours and I've already had a number of families message me quite distressed, concerned for the well-being of the young people, concerned about their ability to access healthcare in the future. Shields said any further restrictions were unnecessary and would only do harm to those who need that care the most. PATHA is concerned about the appropriateness of opening this consultation on a medical matter to the wider public, particularly when the matter of gender affirming care has become highly politicized and subject to disinformation. I would really caution the Ministry of Health to take that into consideration when they are assessing the findings of that consultation, and really would caution government in particular about the impacts of a public consultation process is likely to have on the health and well-being of trans people of all ages, but particularly young trans people.
Yeah. And I mean, actually, there's a comment I can see here that I think kind of something that I thought about when I heard about this was just, why on earth are we consulting on medical things? Do we get a say on organ transplants now? Maybe heart attacks? And that's definitely something that I think it frustrates me because there are certain areas where people are more than happy to just absolutely walk all over expert opinion and all over actual data and facts because they're just kind of bigoted. Like, that's really what it usually comes down to, is like, they're transphobic. So they're like, yep, fuck it. I don't care if everything else is saying like paitena. Don't care about that. Doesn't matter the fact that we've been giving puberty blockers to cisgendered children since the 1980s. Trans people want to do it, so now I have a problem. It's just stupid.
Yeah. Here's a great little video that I have queued up from, well, actually, no, you sent it to me, but I have queued it up, not to take the credit, from the Greens on this particular issue, and hopefully this will work and you guys can hear it. Sorry if it's super loud.
Right, human rights.
The Ministry of Health have today released a report affirming the legitimacy of puberty blockers as a gender-affirming care pathway.
Meanwhile, the government isn't listening to evidence or experts and want to limit access to puberty blockers.
Whakarongo ki te hāpori takatāpui me te hāpori irawhiti. Listen to communities, listen to whānau. We know what's best.
There you go. Well said. Yeah. I mean, that kind of sums it up, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, just for anyone who's unaware, that video was actually from Kaurangi Carter and Ben Doyle, who is our first non-binary MP. And they just did their maiden speech, which I haven't actually gotten a chance to watch yet since it's been such a busy week. But I've gotten to meet them, and oh, they are so lovely, and they are just so freaking onto it. And definitely another person in the house that's giving me hope, and just definitely gonna keep an eye on them. That's for sure.
It's cool to see more representation from the queer community in Parliament. Like, just, it's little by little, but definitely getting
Yeah.
there, which is cool. It shows the diversity that we have here in New Zealand, and hopefully it's. I mean, for me, it's pretty normalized at this point, but that's just because of the communities that I run in. But hopefully, it normalizes it for a lot of other people that trans people aren't scary people coming for you. They're just trying to live their lives.
No, and I would almost argue it's more like a spider. We're more scared of you guys than you are of us most of the time. Like, we have to go out and worry that just needing to go for a piss is going to be a problem to someone, or walking around dressed in an outfit that some random person deems is unacceptable to be on a certain body. It's just very strange. And it's something that people really don't seem to understand, is that we are not the ones to be afraid of.
You should be afraid of the people who are saying that there's something wrong with you, right?
Oh,
The
it's
ones
a
that are
projection. It's such a
screaming
fucking
at the
projection.
screaming at the top of the lungs, going, "Toilets, toilets!" It's like, well, it sounds like
Well,
a
I
you
mean, Piers
problem.
Morgan basically said it himself. If he was in a woman's bathroom, he would be creeping because he's a predator. Like, he admitted himself. He doesn't trust men. And that's the thing, is that the issue is not about trans women in bathrooms. The problem is people are worried about what men do to others. And because they view trans women as men, that gets passed on to them.
Yeah.
Like,
Sense.
this isn't about women.
If it was about women, then we would be standing up for trans women, because trans women are women. There you go. I said it.
Exactly.
Right. Well, let's go into something, a little bit more positive. But that needs to be said, gotta put these things in the spotlight too. We've got some positive news from this week. The House, Samoan citizenship restoration. It means we belong to this land. I think this is probably best summed up by Tiano Suiono. Did I get that correct?
Aye.
He was the one that introduced this into the House, and there's a nice little video here from the third and final reading of the bill, which I will let you guys have a listen to. Hopefully this will work this time. With some audio,
The
please.
Citizenship Western Samoa
Yay.
Restoration Amendment Bill be now read a third time. Mr. Speaker, what a great day it is to be Pasifika in this Parliament. Actually, it's always a great day to be Pasifika, Mr. Speaker, but let me begin by saying that this is before the Honourable Barbara Edmonds says it, that this is the 682 backing the 685. And let me begin by giving a big kia ora koutou katoto to all of my Samoan relatives today. And a big ye koko. Mr. Speaker, this bill is about justice, reconciliation and progress for our Samoan communities in Aotearoa. And I hope that the passage of this bill is a milestone in addressing historical injustices, acknowledging intergenerational harm, and fostering accountability for past actions, such as the Dawn raids. But it's also about community involvement and the broader importance of strengthening relationships between Aotearoa and our Pacific neighbours, while also promoting unity in our pursuit for justice for our communities. Mr. Speaker, this bill is a significant step for Pasifika justice here in Aotearoa and around the Pacific. And I also want to acknowledge the rarity of this bill receiving unanimous political support across the House in the second reading, and of course in the committee of the whole House. As we say in politics, it's best not to count your chickens before they're in the umu, but I am confident that there will be enough support, hopefully unanimous support, for this bill to get through its third reading. Mr. Speaker, I want to also emphasise that I didn't know it previously, because this is the only bill that I've ever had pulled out of the biscuit tin, that it's rare for an opposition MP to get a bill this far. So I want to acknowledge the very strong advocacy of the community today. It was your advocacy and your ability to talk right across the political aisle, which is why we have gotten to this point today. So I say a big whawhetai, tele lava to all of you. Mr. Speaker, the Greens are proud to have championed this bill, and we hope that it goes to some way to atoning for the past wrongs of this Parliament by the state against Pacifica communities. Let's savour this small but significant victory and carry forward the momentum to achieve possibly even greater things. When we unite in the pursuit of justice, there's so much more that we can accomplish. Mr. Speaker, whawhetai tele lava, me taki rā nui nui. I commend this bill to the House.
Now, I hate to be a bit of a downer, because this is all positive. This is all good. And I would be like, well, this is.
I think I know. I think I'm on the same where you're about to go.
So we're like, woohoo, let's, like, you know, fix up the injustices that happen to Samoan people. Māori? Why can't we have unanimous support for Māori in the same way? This doesn't make any sense.
Okay, now we're on a different one. No, actually, my issue is actually just the only thing I feel sad is that there are so many people who are dead. Like, I just want to acknowledge them, the people who didn't get to hear this in time. Like, I think Tuesday was Tangata Whenua Day, and Wednesday when this bill was read was like Tangata Moana, you know? We support them. And so my only issue is just that, like, I feel really bad for all of the whānau who never got to make it. Like, I have seen a couple of videos already of, you know, families who have had people just pass recently who this bill will affect, but unfortunately they've literally not been able to, because it does affect people from quite far back in time. So the thing is, many of those people never got the chance to see this and would have been dead for a long time. So I just want to basically acknowledge those people who unfortunately missed out, but it is good that they're at least acknowledging what they've done wrong and trying to do something to make it up to those. I think there has been a few comments I saw in the chat about, you know, that there could be more to be done to help those people who have experienced extra costs due to their lack of recognition. And I definitely think that that is a very fair criticism, but unfortunately these days we're lucky if we get an apology or an acknowledgement of stuff. So while we try not to accept the bare minimum, like, I am glad that they have at least done that.
Just to give some, just to add to what you were saying, we say watch the bill sail through its final stage. It means we belong to this land. Yesterday was the big Hikoi from Tangata Whenua and Tīriti, so they call Tangata Tīriti and Tangata Whenua our partnership. So this is also kind of a partnership. So we are Samoa here today. Tangata Whenua was yesterday, today is Tangata Moana. It's part of my pronunciation. Seta is the Secretary of Samoa. I'm gonna.
I can't actually see the words very well. Sorry, but
that's right. A group led by former MPs Ane Arthur, Ane and Opito William Seal. While Peseta acknowledges the bill addresses past injustices, he believes it could have gone further. While the bill allows those whose citizenship was stripped away to regain it, the renewed citizenship does not automatically pass to their children, as it would have if the injustice had not occurred. When you're thinking of people that will be entitled to this, says Siuli Paseta, the oldest person is probably 100 years old, and the youngest was probably 76 or 75. It's a shame that their descendants are not entitled to it.
Yeah. I
So
think
it's part the way there, right?
yeah, like it's definitely great that something has happened, but obviously, as has been stated, like maybe not enough has been done. And I mean, the thing is, like, we are all Pacifica. Like us as Māori, we often don't identify as Pacifica because obviously in our country we use that as a way to kind of identify who's from, you know, this land and who's from the Pacific Islands. But we are all a part of the Pacific Triangle. We are all Pacifica. They are our ancestors. We come from there in our past. So we support them always. Also, there's some stuff happening in the comments that I just want to jump in on because I can see everybody is having a wee bit of an argument. And fair enough, I just want to say I appreciate people talking to this. But I saw a comment here that says, based off of our previous story, if a woman comes into men's locker room and gets naked, you're kidding yourself if you were not looking. And I want to address this comment and just talk to you directly, Sean, and say, I want you to actually think about what that what that holds. What kind of things are you holding, and what kind of ways do you view people that is warping the way that you are in spaces? Because if that is how you feel when you go into a space with someone of the other gender, then maybe you have some unpacking to do, and maybe you have some things to consider, because quite frankly, that's predatory and disgusting. And if you can't go to a changing room and not perv on someone, that is on you. That is on you. And I think you've had quite a few people in the comments tell you that is on you. So
Yeah, sounds like a you problem.
yeah, maybe just check yourself before the chat wrecks yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Also, don't just assume that every man is like, you know, thinks that women are a piece of meat. I think there's a lot of really
Or
good
even
men
find
out
them
there.
attractive.
Well, yeah, that too. Like every guy in a
Also,
locker room is
it's
gonna be like,
strange-
sweet.
It's strange to me how straight men, they do some weird things in the locker room with each other. Yet
When they're
somehow,
playing
if a
sports,
tran-
just slapping their asses,
yeah,
and I'm
yet
like,
somehow-
oh hell yeah.
Exactly. Yet somehow, if a trans person wants to go to a bathroom, all of a sudden now it's weird and sexual. Like, I'm sorry, but that is some toxic shit that you need to work through, and that maybe you should, I don't know, talk to someone.
Yeah.
Work on it.
Yeah.
But you've got to do that mahi. We're not here to do it for you.
Sounds like a you
Anywho,
problem.
let's move on to a couple of super chats before we get too far, because there's quite a few actually.
Sorry, guys.
I will. I think I've showed that one, so I'll unstar that one. We've got Ruru with $2. Aroha mai, late fee, busy feeding dogs. Well, I hope they had a good
thank you.
dinner. We got Kiwi Bird for $2. Te Ao Māori equal Manaki. David Seymour equal Malaki. That
Malaki.
is
I like
so
this.
good.
That's
I love that.
someone's onto it tonight.
That's beautiful. We've got the Southern Moonlight for $5. Friday Fiver from me, who would have liked to been able to attend the Hikoi but couldn't. We appreciate that you were there in spirit. We got another Friday Fiver from Citizen Gold, who I actually met at the Fork and Brewer on Tuesday after the
Ooh.
Hikoi. So
Nice.
I now know what Citizen looks like and all their secrets. You know. Just kidding. There wasn't any secrets.
Out you in the chat.
Did you want to get onto any more of those, or let's save those for later?
Oh, yeah, there's one that might need a bit of a discussion. That's fine.
I mean, we've got this one from It's in the Ballot for $5. And this was just when we were talking earlier. Just imagine your loved one waiting for a transplant and having a busybody like Colleen Smart from Home and Away at the decision table. And when you put it like that,
wow, that's an
hell
image.
no, thank you. That is quite grim. But thank you for the $5.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right.
And then, the last
um,
one is just a
yeah,
$2
go for it.
from Kiwi Burb saying that they want to see Ben do slam poetry against NZF. I'm not sure. Does Ben do slam poetry? Am I not aware of something? Feel free to send me a message, Kiwi.
Oh.
Interesting. Anywho, where are we off to now?
All right. One. You know what? Let's say that for later. Let's say that as our end of the show. Oh no, I've just ruined it. No, I was gonna remove
Oh, I
them.
didn't know. I wasn't looking. Does that help?
Nobody saw
Does
it.
that help?
Nobody
Is
saw
it
it.
still secret if I wasn't
Um,
looking?
Shall we do? Do you want to do a few memes? Are we feeling some memes?
Oh, yes. Actually, I think after that little bit of ick, I need a bit of a
Okay. Let's give you the
cleanse.
memes.
Cleanse my
Let's give you the
soul.
memes. We need the memes. This
I
one will.
need the memes. Give me the memes.
Say this one will tickle you.
I don't like. Oh, tickle my sack.
How do I zoom in?
I was
Oh,
gonna
it's
say you
not
need to
letting me
zoom
do
in on
it.
a little bit if you can.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Oh God. I
Oh
almost
man,
low-key
the
wish that they-
signage that came out of this is so
I
good.
kind of wish though that they had to put instead of putting David at the tip, I feel like they could have just had him be the two balls. You know, that could have been fun.
Yeah.
Or maybe even all
Yeah.
three of them. Maybe. Maybe we get the coalition. Maybe some of our
someone
meme artists might get onto that.
Someone did do the coalition, I think. Oh, too good.
God.
This is another one that you shared with me that you saw around Wellington, was it?
These are all okay. So these are posted basically down the entire Golden Mile, which is basically the streets that we walked, the Hikoi, and they're just posted on lampposts, on walls, and it's freaking beautiful. It was like my favorite thing to see around town.
Yes, to that last one. I really want to know if someone took this person took the public transport to get it there. In regards to the giant cardboard penis, which
I'm
is-
sure there would have
oh,
been so many signs.
I hope
on
someone
buses and
took video of that.
trains. Yeah,
It'd be the funniest.
absolutely. Do you have any more from that lot?
I sure do. This one was a great take
Oh,
on
yes.
oh no,
I took
don't do that.
photo,
No,
yeah.
no.
I
Fuck
was
you,
very
Jerry.
impressed. They actually got like a proper art canvas board. That's why it's actually so
Yeah.
perfectly like thing. Like they really
I
put the
know.
effort in.
I know that is arts and crafts use it. It's art skills used for their
Also, I
their
realized for
purpose.
the audio listeners, this is really bad. So on the screen, we have a sign that looks like a piece of paper that is torn in half to the middle, and it says, "Oh yes, do that."
Do you want to just for the audio listeners? You want to
Yeah, I realized I should.
too?
Oh God, okay. And so for our audio listeners, in this meme, we have a picture of a person holding a cardboard sign that is cut out to be the shape of two balls and a penis. And at the top of the penis, we have David Seymour's face. And across the balls, it says, "Kill his ballsack Bill," in black paint.
Perfect.
Oh,
Thanks for doing that. It's really
no
important that
worries.
we describe these for our
Accessibility is
audio listeners.
important.
100%. Even if it means we have to describe David
I
Seymour's
didn't really
face.
think about that.
No. Doesn't really work so well when it's kind of visual meme,
Yeah, no, it is
Yeah.
very visual, and the words were
Mm.
very visceral. That's for freaking sure.
Alrighty. All right, let's go into the meat and potatoes of the show, and I'm going to pass this over to you, Magenta, to give us 4 or 5 years worth of university education in about 30 minutes.
Well,
Sound
we're
about
gonna take it a bit of two. So we're looking at a little bit of education. I'm not giving everyone a full history rundown because that would require a really long time and maybe a 2.5 hour stream for that one. But I have found, for some of you who might have seen, there was an interview with Hana on the morning shift, and it was a really awesome interview, and it was quite a good interview because I feel like one of the things that has been, I guess, lacking for probably a lot of people in all of this Hīkoi treaty bill, is that I think for a lot of people, we don't know, like a lot of people don't know what is a constitution, what is constitutional agreement, what is constitutional transformation, all the dumb, boring stuff. But basically, I'm going to start off with Hana, and then we'll go into some of the boring stuff, because I don't want everyone to fall asleep straight away.
No, we
So
would
we
never.
will share.
Yep. Stephen Lizards is keen. Magenta's history lesson special, please.
Also, I did not
Oh,
test the volume.
A slide
so-
presentation.
No, I'm not. I didn't prepare slides because it's been a long week. Maybe next time when I've got less on.
In an abridged Reader's Digest version.
Oh my God, Reader's Digest. That's a.
I haven't thought about that for 10 years. Jeez, that's a
My
time.
grandparents absolutely loved Reader's
The
Digest.
TV guide and the
Oh yeah. But yeah, so in this video, basically up until this point, they've kind of just been talking to Hana. She kind of talked about how, for her, well, she wasn't supposed to start the haka, as I think some people already know. It was supposed to be Rawiri. But for her, she said, as someone who's quite shy and introverted, to her, it wasn't her that started the haka. It was her tupuna that started their haka. And then here we are going into a bit of corridor around why they used the haka to oppose the bill.
There's a bit of like context background to all of this, and it's been building up for a year. That's hence why we've had like 3 activations already, and why it's been so tense is basically this bill. And I was like, ugh, let's just rip it. It means nothing. Like, and they're like, oh no, let's not do that. And I was like, no, like honestly, like the treaty unites us, and our country is known for having a beautiful partnership that most Indigenous countries don't have, and let's not give it the power. And we had tried many different point of orders where you had tried to play their game. We tried the speeches, we tried taking it out, select committees, you name it, all of these flash things I've learned this year. We tried to do it, and we were the last vote, and I said, nah, let's try and take out their vote, and let's try and stop it without it passing. But really, let's try and make the world see what's going on here, and actually it's not even our fight, it's us as Indigenous peoples together.
And so, yeah, I mean, what she touches on here was just so important for me, because one thing that I didn't even understand up until recently was that, we very much, and I've never really thought about it until recently, our system is a Westminster system. We made a good faith agreement with the Crown, and unfortunately, ever since then, it has been with bad faith actors, and now we see ourselves living in a world currently in Aotearoa, New Zealand, that is based on a Westminster system that is somehow trying to honour Te Tiriti, which unfortunately are 2 worlds that, if you're just trying to paste them together exactly as they exist, is something that's kind of impossible, because there are some very conflicting ideologies, some very conflicting ways of doing, ways of being. And not that they can't coexist and live together, but that's where the conversations around constitutional transformation via Mātiki Mai, as like Professor Margaret Mutu has talked about, and for those who have watched the show for a while, she is why we have the term buffer, her and a bunch of people from across the country. And that's the thing about Mātiki Mai and all of these conversations that have been happening. Like David says he wants to talk about, the principles of our constitutional document. There have been kōrero happening about this for a long time. We have been having these conversations. It's that they have not been coming to the conversations. They do not try to have the conversations because they just want to say, we just want to do it our way, and you've got to find a way to assimilate into our way. Whereas we're saying, hey, no. The whole agreement originally was that we do things together. So if we lived in an Aotearoa that had actually honoured Te Tiriti, this wouldn't be a big deal. We wouldn't have videos going viral of Haka in Parliament, because that would be something that would be a process that is allowed to happen. Like, for those who also aren't aware, like, you know, in terms of, I'm sure many people are, you know, have been to like Pōhiri before. Those are a type of Māori politics. Pōhiri can be used as a way, like, you know, when manuhiri would get welcomed onto the marae, that would be a time where, you know, they'd have the whai kōrero, because that would be a time where people could set their intentions for why they were there. You know, were they coming to, you know, have some beef? Were they coming in peace? Were, you know, what was the agenda? What were they here for? And then you'd have that conversation. And that's also another reason why actually men are at the front, not because women are weak and can't protect themselves, but because women and children are literally the future. Without women and children, people don't survive. So the men are at front, so that if in that case anything was to go down and things were to go sour, the men would be able to go forward first, and the women and children would have more chance to retreat if there was, you know, malice intention. So these kind of things
that makes more sense,
are,
I guess.
yeah, exactly. And
If you look at it from that, instead of looking at it from a patriarchal point of view, it's literally looking at it from a safety or a protection point of view. It's a much nicer way to think about it.
Yeah, because like there's a whole bunch of aspects of this world that I think, because none of us are ever taught about it, we don't understand or know anything about it. And so the thing is, when she says, you know, like, who cares? It's just a bill. It's just a piece of paper. Rip it up. Like, you know, that is a very valid criticism. And for her to do the haka and for them to challenge that, you know, we saw Chloe in the clips before that trying to be like, Mr. Speaker, because they weren't given that opportunity. So if you're not given the opportunity, what else are you supposed to do? Just sit by and take it? Because that's what they always want minorities to do, whether it's women, whether it's people of color, whether it's indigenous people, whether it's queer people. Like, they always just want like this kind of more Western European modern way of being is very oppressive. And if anyone tries to even be like, hey, that's not cool, that's not okay, they're like, oh, you can't talk back to me. You know, it's almost like when your parents are yelling at you as a kid and they're like, why did you do this? And you're like, because this. And they're like, don't talk back to me. And you're like, you asked me a question though. It's just, it's frustrating. But yeah, and I mean, there's so many ways to do that. And like, we'll go on to the next part of the clip as well, because this is just where Hana kind of also touches on how this isn't really just about Māori as well. We'll let her speak.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? Like, that's what a lot of people, I don't even think in this country, understand that right now.
Sorry, I just realized I got the wrong timestamp.
We like that when it happens.
Yes, we do. It is very great.
Area, do you manage to have that strength to do that?
That morning, unfortunately, but fortunately, I guess, we had the Hīkoi come through our lecture in Waikato, and I was like,
oh, well, no, it's not that. It's my notes are the wrong way around. That's so funny. It's fine. We're going to.
Well, it's all right.
the one
Let's
I
just
know is not
appreciate
wrong.
this little comment here. If they took the butt plug out of parliamentary process, Māori and the Westminster system could work together as a whole a lot better. Very true. Very true. I like it. Great analogy.
I agree. And so this is actually going to go into a bit more about kind of, you know, where we sit at the table.
Important for Māoris to still show up, because some would say, if National's saying it's not going past first reading, well, Labour isn't going to support it, the other big party, Māori Party obviously isn't, Greens. So it seems like some could say this. It's a lot of hoopla, considering, so why do we need to march? Why do we need to still stay staunch? Why do we need to haka, considering that?
I think us being in opposition, and I've only been in here a year, Māori Party have been in there this is their 4th year. I think, just to put out there, we actually we're not the decision makers. We're probably at the advocating table, but we're not at the decision making table. So we can't.
Good distinction to make.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't hear you. You're muted.
And that's it. Oh, sorry. That is something that's really important to note, is that a lot of people go, oh, well, why do we march for the treaty? Why this, why that? Because the treaty was never honored. And because it was never honored, we have been constantly trying to get to that table. But one of the other issues that is also there is that we're trying to get to the Pākehā table. It was built by them, when the table was supposed to be built by both of us. And again, that's where Mātiki Mai and constitutional transformation is really important, because they focused on the word transformation over, like, you often hear like constitutional reform is usually like the popular one. But to do constitutional reform is to basically say, we'll take the current table and we'll tweak it and we'll make it kind of fit and work with what we need. Constitutional transformation is saying, no, this table was not built for purpose. We actually need to rebuild the table together. And that's why it's a really important distinction, not only to make that we're not at that decision-making table, but also that that table was not built in co-governance, which is why we will continue to go on about why co-governance is very important.
Well, it's that's kind of the whole point of the treaty, is co-governance. It's
exactly
working in partnership. It's together, cooperative, co-governing.
You can't tell them that, though. I think this just has like 1 more minute left.
We're not making the laws. We're not deciding where all the money goes. So there's not a lot of paper change that we can make right now, because we just don't have that power, but we can make a lot of society change. And for us, it's like one of the biggest tools that colonization ever done to us as a people, and Indigenous people, was removed us from the collective. So like, we're going to take away your language, we're going to take away your land, we're going to take away your culture, so you can't feel a part of something. I think the biggest thing that we're trying to do is like, just be a part of it so that you can give this to your kids. That's the society change that we're trying to make. It's not even really about the government, to be really honest. It's about us. Like, pull up for yourself, not to tell them. Pull up for the next generation.
Absolutely.
And again, the Queenie just coming out with absolute bangers, because that is it, it's about trying to actually have these things be like, because again, we'll go back to a little bit of the history. So just for some brief history, we've got Te Tiriti, which everyone knows, and we've got He Whakaputanga, which many people don't know as much about. If you've watched the video with Professor Margaret Matu, then you might know a little bit about it. If not, please go watch that. It's a really good video. But basically, He Whakaputanga is considered the parent document to Te Tiriti. It was, it's from Te Tai Tokerau, and it was from 1835. And basically what happened was, at that time in our country, there were Pākehā who were running amok, who were causing a bunch of issues. And so we had to send someone over and say, hey, can you send an ambassador to sort this out? Because, you know, this is unacceptable. And so that's why they obviously created He Whakaputanga. And then Te Tiriti's role was actually established so that Pākehā who wanted to come to Aotearoa basically knew what the rules were, because that's what a constitution is. It's just the set of rules that we all agree upon in which to function. That's really as basic as it is. And so we've spent 180 something years not functioning in the ways that we were supposed to, which has created major inequalities. I was actually just saw a video this morning talking about how the total amount of money that has been paid to Māori through the Waitangi Tribunal is less than the 2.9 billion for landlords. So if you put that into perspective, all of these people who say, oh, well, you know, they've gotten heaps of money so far, and yet all this amazing, plentiful money that Maori supposedly get their hands on is still less than the 2.9 billion for landlords. So basically that tells me that my people are worth less than landlords to the government.
Sorry, I'm entrenched.
Nah,
in,
that's
in,
fair, honestly.
in chat. I'm entrenched in chat because there's some interesting stuff going on there. Treaty-wise,
yes.
please, thanks for our moderators. I saw something interesting. I can't find the comment now, but it was a genuine question. Which I don't know because I don't really know the treaty that well. I feel I've actually made some progress with people I know opposed to the treaty to Tīriti by reframing Tīriti as being a defence for all New Zealanders from foreign exploitation ownership. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, so like basically when it comes to, you know, Māori politics, Māori ways of being, that's actually something that like Mātiki Mai touches on. It's a great document. I implore people to go read it. It's a bit of a long document, but honestly you can skim read certain parts of it and get a good idea of what's going on. But the thing is in that, you know, from a Maori perspective, from Maori culture, balance is a really important thing, and that means balance of land, people, resources, and things, and that is where the protection comes in. So like they identified some of the core values was the health and well-being of Ranginui and Papatuānuku. And that, you know, if we're prioritizing the health and well-being of our planet and those things, we are naturally taken care of a lot better. We have less issues. There are also just the fact that money would be prioritized different. You know, if Māori were at the decision-making table, you would see money diverted away from, you know, a lot of things that a lot of us in the chat would probably disagree with, like, you know, mining and certain things like that, that money would then be prioritized towards, you know, communities helping people. Like we have seen, there have been many instances over the years of different iwi entities using what little money they have to invest and actually create plentiful opportunities for their people. I don't have it with me right now. I should have prepared it, but I know that there is an iwi who have used some of the money they have to create like these kit set homes that can be kind of put together a lot more cheaply and provide housing for kaumātua. There are so many initiatives. The thing is, we just don't hear about them. We just don't hear about them. They are everywhere. There are Māori who are out there, you know, who have been helping politically in terms of trying to protect, you know, we have Ihumātao, that was one of the more recent ones where Māori were at the forefront of trying to basically stop land from being sold off to Fletcher Buildings. And Māori came out in support of against the Super City Council in 2009. There's been, so many instances over, honestly, the last 180 years where Māori have just been trying to stop things that have been ultimately bad for us all.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that Māori are perfect. That's not to say that our way of being or doing is better, perfect, best. But the thing that actually I think helped put it into perspective for me was that, like, someone who was saying at the Hīkoi was like, what's good for Māori is good for everyone here. Just like how in Samoa, what is good for Samoa is good for everyone there. Just because that's the thing is, people, indigenous people, they came to these lands and they just figured it out. Like when you learn the migration story, so like quick TLDR speed run of the migration, you know, we have people starting from Taiwan, going down through Melanesia, Micronesia, off into the Pacific, And then we have East Polynesians, so around Tahiti, making their way down to Aotearoa, which is actually a very difficult trip to make. And they made it to New Zealand, Aotearoa. They went back to Eastern Polynesia, and then people started coming over. So we were making trips that people up until recently didn't think you could physically do. Because again, we will always think, oh, there's no way that small Indigenous people could have done that. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, we have the kumara. There's been Māori trade. Māori were trading with other countries before Pākehā even showed up. Māori
Yeah.
had an economy, you know, and the other thing one thing that my professor pointed out to me that was really impressive is, think about it. They came from these super warm tropical islands, and then they came to Aotearoa, which, like, yeah, at the top of the island, not too bad, pretty warm, subtropical, paitena. Further you come down, though, and yet still, they found ways to still cultivate. A lot of the things they brought over died, but they still managed to cultivate enough carbohydrates. They obviously subsisted off whatever was in the area. So, you know, South Island Māoris had very high seal diets, which apparently is a very, very good protein and gives you more protein than like chicken or beef per
Wow.
like amount. So yeah, apparently very good for you.
Are they
And, you
quite
know,
fatty?
They are
I
very
just
fatty.
assume. Okay. That's
Yeah,
a bit
and
of
again,
a.
that fat is very helpful. But that's again how amazing the Pacifica people were when they came here, who then turned into Māori, because that's another important thing to remember is that Pacifica people came to Aotearoa and then became Māori by living here for a while. And so basically in the South Island, they figured out that they had actually been cooking trees, because turns out if you get a tea porter, which is a cabbage tree, and you cook it in the ground for a really long time, it kills the poison and you can eat it.
There you go.
Exactly. And
So
so
I probably
usually
wouldn't.
wherever you go, the people of that land have been there so long, they just know how to work it. They know how to keep you safe.
I love
the
it. Kumara side
Yeah,
quest.
the
Yeah,
Kumara
I love
side
it. That's
quest
the
is
thing. Kumara side
is-
quest.
exactly.
I like that. It's a great little
so
face
like,
come out of
I
that.
mean, and that's the thing is like, the people who came to this country, honestly, amazing. I couldn't survive if I went to some random country that had a climate that was completely different to my own. And I just, like, they figured out that Māori had managed to find pretty much any usable mineral and material in this country extremely quickly. So, and that's on foot. Imagine trying to like trade Pounamu from the South Island all the way up to the North Island. Like,
Did
yeah,
they
you're probably
use-
going to pass it on some
do you know
people,
if-
but
Do you know if they
Sorry?
use? How did they cross the strait? They use waka to
Yep,
cross
waka.
the strait, right?
that's how they did. I mean, that's how they did everything, because they were some of the probably I would say the greatest sailors in the world, but I'm biased,
Yeah.
so you know.
I couldn't
um,
imagine that. People do canoe and kayak the strait, though, right? It's pretty dangerous, but they do it, right?
I think I've heard of it, but I don't. I
Yeah.
bloody wouldn't. That's for bloody sure.
I mean, people go around the world kayaking and canoeing, but you know, their own, I guess. But that's they're not. It's not an easy strait to get through.
Well, and that's the
So,
thing is that's why a lot of people didn't believe that they could have come from East
Yeah.
Polynesia on boats. I mean, as it was, there was like quite a crucial moment where actually technology changed when the people moved from Tonga to Samoa, Tonga to Samoa, because there is about a 550 nautical mile gap that basically they had to create a waka haurua, which is, two-hulled waka. So then that way they needed that to be able to get over that. But then the other awesome, interesting stuff is there's also geological differences, which means that when they crossed over, they had less resources and had to be more resourceful.
I just want to acknowledge this.
Yes.
We could sell Nikki no votes a fleet of waka. I mean, Maori could do it. Maybe we don't need some Ferrari walkers. I mean, Ferries. Maybe we need some Ferrari walkers. I
Get
love
the
that.
iwi taxi going.
Lovely little Iwi taxi. Oh, it's so cool. I was gonna say as well. I was gonna say
yeah.
something and then I forgot, and then you keep talking. I was like, I'll just let you
No,
while
you're
I remember
fine.
what I was gonna say. But no, I appreciate that because that puts all the things into perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's
I
if
think
you don't know, you don't know.
No, exactly. And I think you just got to either have learned it because it was, part of your curriculum and you had to learn it, or you take your time to learn it out of interest when you get older. There's quite a few YouTube videos that do a really good job, I think, of explaining a lot of the stuff, but my
Yeah, I
algorithm does not
mean,
pick them up as much. So yeah.
I'll try
But
to
the
see
thing
if
that
I
I
can
was
actually get some. I might see if I can get some resources together. We'll make a little, maybe like a YouTube
Yeah.
playlist or something.
Yeah, we could share that around. I think people would appreciate that. The thing that
Yeah.
I was going to say was the Western way of doing things is we're very individualistic. We have a very individualistic mindset. Meritocracy, it's individualistic. Capitalism thrives. Not that it's a great system, but it thrives in an individualistic, first to the top type system. Whereas a lot of Indigenous people, and I guess ourselves, long before capitalism, or sort of the more individualistic society that we created, it was very much about community. It was about community helping each other. It was about family. It was about trade. It wasn't about money. Money didn't exist. It was resources.
Yeah. Well, and that's
And
the
we've
thing is, I
kinda
think also Pākehā
lost
forget
that.
that they were once collectivist people too.
Yeah.
Pākehā do whakapapa to collectivism. You just got to go really far back.
Yeah.
Like I'm Scottish as well. So like, the Scottish people, the Irish people, they obviously have, like I think we can sometimes do forget that like, when we say this, we mean more like the kind of very much more Western European colonial mindset because we all came from communities at one point. It's just some of us are further removed from them. And that's where I think we just need to have that middle ground, because like that collectivism is obviously very helpful. It is something that is a survival mechanism for humans.
Yeah.
Like, we need each other. As much as we
It'd
don't like
be-
each other sometimes.
I would love to know, and I guess just because the colonial system that gets put in place, especially in places like New Zealand and Australia, are great examples. I guess probably ones we know the best. They're so dominant, and we still have this shit with fucking Seymour trying to, take us backwards that we've never actually been able to see. And we only saw glimmers of it in the last government of co-governance actually, starting to actually come into play, even just a small bit. We've never really seen it flourish in sort of your, in an OECD country, because capitalism and the Pākehā way of doing, the colonial way of doing things is so dominant and domineering against Indigenous or communal ways of doing things. And it's really sad because I think we can get there. The systems will work. You just have to I think we just have to go back to the treaty, which the treaty is.
Kill capitalism.
I mean that's across the board. Everyone's trying to do that, but good luck with that with bloody
But no, I agree.
Trump in the White House. But yeah, so I think we've got to find a way, and we can. The evidence and the research is there. We have to do it. We got to push for it.
We also just have to stop accepting what they're just telling us is what we should be doing.
Yeah.
Because it's the other thing that I kind of, the last point that I think that I wanted to make around this stuff is actually more for everybody who's watching. And this was one thing that I found really important in trying to actually shift the way that I thought about a lot of these issues. And actually just what helped me be a lot more open to them is just taking a moment to consider your positionality in the world. Taking a moment to consider who you are, what you are, like how, what influences the lens in which you look upon the world. And how does that lens maybe not help? And how does that lens also probably help as well? Like just taking a moment to really consider where you sit in something. And so then that way, instead of hearing something and maybe coming from a defensive place, you can actually go, no, like, while I don't understand that, I can at least understand where you're coming from, like positionality and trying to actually think about how the world might look in a completely different way of being or doing is just really important to help with empathy and to help
Yeah.
understand how things are different and how things can be different, because I used to be
Yeah.
so much more conservative than I am now. And it wasn't until I learned certain aspects that that was able to be broken.
Yeah, and I think I'm the same, but I think the thing that triggered it for me was probably more education and just coming into things with a slightly more open mind about things. But then I guess the education I was learning, so I kind of came to more of because I guess through university I was more of like a feminist and got the whole feminist thing going on. It's like, yeah, women's rights, yay. But I never really got the indigenous rights thing until I'm obviously I support, but it wasn't until I really clicked for me. It was until I did the my later education, where it was part of the curriculum to do basically like national studies or national design. So I was able to learn about Maori history through design. So that was like, cool, piqued my interest brain. But the things I was learning was fascinating because, the way of building things, the way of designing things, the way of embedding culture, a way of modernizing Maori design and ways of doing things into architecture and these like very modern things that it's totally doable. You've just got to allow Maori to be part of the process and actually let them, like, you can get some freaking cool things. Like, I don't know if I think it's the one in there's a building in Wellington that has like the feathers. I think it's kind of like feathers, and they've got the same. I don't know. I don't know. It looks cool, but if you look at the Christchurch precinct, I think it's on the parking part of that building. Again, it's that same sort of motif, and it's such a cool way of like modernizing a traditional aspect of Māori design. I think that was kind of the inching point for me to be like, oh, this is kind of interesting. Oh, let's learn a bit more about this. And then it's all the surrounding impacts of like, dampening Māori culture because of, things like not being able to use te reo, all the stuff that happened in the 80s. It's like very little things that I've just slowly started to learn.
Oh, yeah.
But that started to connect the dots of like, oh, no wonder like you have all of these, socioeconomic problems because you've basically tried to erase them through history. Like it's once you start to get that, you go, yeah, you're like, oh shit, we've never allowed Māori to have a seat at the table. Like they've never been equal, and that's the whole reason it hasn't worked.
And that's the thing is, like, I think the issue is not, it's just like, like I think Hana also said something that I quite resonated with is that, for her, when she steps outside of Huntly, that's where she realizes what she has to do, because there she can just be Māori. But when she's in Parliament, when she's outside of that space, and that's the thing is that, like, Māori often only feel like they can be Māori in certain spaces or with certain people. And that's not to say there aren't Māori who are Māori everywhere they go. There are some very awesome Māori who have courage and, just live their truth like that. But there are so many who have been deprived. There's so many who have faced, a bunch of different bullshit. Like, I even remember as a young person, like, not wanting to speak a certain way because I don't want to sound too hoary or I don't want to tick Māori on my doctor's form because what if they treat me differently or whatever, and just small little things that happen even when you don't realize it. There's a lot that you don't know, but like your body knows you've been missing it, if that makes sense. Like your body and your mind, like they know that you've been deprived of it, and it's only until you start to get immersed into it again that you go, oh shit, like I actually feel better.
It's not to diminish what you're saying, but I think for some people that may perhaps struggle with it, I have a similar feeling when it comes to femininity for me. Like there was I feel like a lot of women go through like a boyish phase. For me, that was like, I was like a pink, I was the pink girl. I was the only girl in my family. So I was like, everything was pink. My walls were pink. My beds were pink. And then there was just almost like this little like, nah, I don't want to be a girl anymore. I'm like a tomboy, and I cut all my hair off and, started wearing,
Well, yeah.
emo stuff and like being a bit more androgynous. And it wasn't until I was like, actually, there's power in being feminine. There's power in being who I am. I'm going to
'Cause
embrace it.
you were
and
just
like,
taught that femininity was supposed to be bad, because one thing that I hate is that people villainize teenage girls.
mm,
Leave them alone. They're just getting their period for the first fucking time, okay? Leave them the fuck alone.
they have
'Cause that
boobs
shit
that they didn't have
sucks.
before, but it's all for like, like
The hormones
you
are
got
doing
shit
some
going.
crazy shit. Your body's doing some crazy shit. Yeah, sorry if you hate your mum. Like we all hate our mum at that age.
We all hate our mums. We never want to turn out like them, but we do.
But like, I feel like
it's same
young
sort of
women
thing,
get
right?
told to hate themselves because they're so annoying. Young women are annoying. Like think about any annoying character in TV.
Yeah, you don't want to
Just
be
a
the
young
dumb blonde
feminine
chick.
woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
no
I think
wonder
there is a
you
lot of
kinda
like,
wanted to reject that. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, there's, I guess, in a sense of like internal misogyny, internalized misogyny in a way. For me, it was kind of like, I don't want to be a woman, blah blah blah. But I feel like that kind of resonates with your story of Māori,
Yeah.
of being
And
Māori, not wanting to be Māori, what you were taught about it, and having to be like, you know what, I'm reclaiming it. This is me, so I
absolutely.
am.
The same thing happens with my queerness, like
Yeah.
those minority identities often do have that experience, and
Yeah.
that's why we just that's why we need to be being loud, angry fucking feminists about it, because again, we
Feminism
villainize
means
the people
equality.
who stand up for themselves. We did it to the feminists, we'll do it to whoever the fuck, I guess. Anyway, let's go into some
Someone said I was off
news.
topic. I was just, we were a little bit off topic. But
That's
the
fine.
idea was that we are, there are ways in which we can be empathetic towards issues that we may not personally identify with. But if we can find the time in our lives when we were marginalized, when we felt like a minority, try to remember what that feels like and how it made you feel and how sort of shitty it made you feel and how little it made you feel. Being bullied as a kid for being a nerd, that is a perfect example. Take that point of view and then multiply it by 1,000. And it didn't just leave when you left high school. It follows you for your entire life. That
that's
is
the
what a
thing,
lot
is
of
there's
people have
nothing
to live with.
with relating to something. It's not like we're saying, oh yes, the way M's felt about the color pink is the same way I experienced racism. That is not
No,
what we're
God, no,
saying.
I'm not saying that. No,
I don't
God,
think
no.
you are either. I just want to make that
No.
very clear.
Man, I didn't like pink, so your racism, your
Hey, that's
racism
what I'm
issues are
saying.
fine. I'm a girl.
Exactly.
No, it's the, I think everyone in the
It's
chat
that
understands where I was coming.
understanding
Yeah,
through adversity and being able
Exactly.
to have that
Finding-
analogy.
commonalities through adversity, and for some people, there are things stacked against them, and they are many. And for some of us, it can be things that are perhaps a little easier to to overcome. So just empathy. Just
Exactly.
yeah. What have you got for us, Mimi's?
Right. Well, so I found my new favorite Instagram page. So I'm just going to share the whole page with everyone because this is basically seemingly The Onion, but make it New Zealand. So we've got some fake news titles that I find absolutely hilarious. On this screen, we have a picture of Luxon. Breaking news. PM Luxon shocked as tenants pass lease principal bill and take ownership of his house. Which I wish. We have man who loves apartheid state Israel definitely cares about equality and democracy. Spicy. We've got
no.
New Zealand First instructs Harold the giraffe to start promoting ciggies with a picture of old Costello and Harold the giraffe with
Oh
a
no!
ciggy in his mouth. And you can see why this is my new favorite.
This really
favorite
just like
thing.
shows you how stupid some of this shit is, right?
This one I loved. Ram raids down because stolen cars never have enough fuel in them for the raid anymore.
Oh no!
Yeah. Oh, and so if for the audio listeners, the Instagram page is called Chad Left. So if you just type Chad Left, all lowercase, one word, into Instagram, you should hopefully find it. The page only currently has about 8,200 followers, but it is extremely hilarious. And
It needs more.
honestly, the second
Please,
I found it, I knew it had to go on the show. I knew it had to go on the show because that's just too beautiful.
What do you say it was Chad Life?
Chad Left, like as in lefty.
Chad Left.
Yes.
Chad Left.
Sorry, Chad Left. CHADLEFT. Because I'm a New Zealander and I don't know how to pronounce my AEIOUs.
R-E-U-A-O.
Yeah, exactly.
I know the Japanese one. I always forget what the English one is these days.
And then we also have the meme of the week. The meme of the week is actually technically a two-parter, which I thought was impressive. So we have, based off of last week's show.
Okay, fair point, but like, sorry, I'm reading the chat.
Nah, you're all good. We have the pancake batter. So this was sent in by Ryjan. And it's
Just
a
saw it.
beautiful picture of a bowl of pancake batter that has
Oh,
good
no.
old Karen Plunkett's face at the bottom of it. And the actual word, the pancake batter, has been done like the platform, which I just think beautiful. Chef's kiss. Like, definitely loved that one. And also, did I close my other one? Let me just have a quick look. I will get you to fill in the time with some of those chats that you're reading while I
Oh, well,
find the
this
second
one, Sean, you're really throwing us a couple of loops today. You preach bullying, but you're doing it. I mean, I'm no fan of Luxon, just saying. Fair point. However, there's a difference between being the prime minister of a country who fucks over minority people with his decisions on how our government money is spent versus a kid at your school who is targeting you and making you feel like a worthless piece of shit. There is a difference between being a high schooler who's just trying to live their life and actively putting your hand up to be the prime minister and getting shit for it. There are two, like, even us being on this platform, we are calling for, and I'm not calling for people, but we are calling for people to, like, you know, shit on us. We are putting ourselves out there with our opinions. I have a platform,
we know
come
the
at
risk
me.
that happens, unfortunately. Like,
But if
do
someone
I
is
think
just
that
like doing
people
their
need to
life,
sometimes? Yeah, exactly.
someone just doing their life, don't be an absolute asshat to them. That's the difference. The difference is that this
absolutely
person
agree.
has power. We currently in this position have power. We have right to be criticized because we have power and influence over you. Prime Minister has ultimate power and influence over the way our government money is spent. So yeah, I'm gonna shit on him all I like. He's a fucking asshole.
Hell
Sorry.
yeah, you tell him. See, look, guys, Ems is finally not just being nice to men. Finally, let the anger fill you.
See, I can't even go, oh man, I kind of feel bad, because Luxon
Nah,
is
yeah.
actually like an actual asshat. Simeon,
Well,
I'm
that's-
like, yeah, okay, fair. Poor Simeon.
I
But
mean,
like, fuck you,
he
Luxon.
valued
Sorry.
his fucking business deal over anything else. So, like, I mean,
He cares more about himself and his money and his
he
very
doesn't
small
even care
family.
about doing a good job.
No, he doesn't.
Terrible fucking
He
job
doesn't
at
know
the
what political
moment.
capital is. He gets so many opportunities. People hand it to him on a plate. I'm sure his PR team are like, take the opportunity. Take the opportunity. And he's like, how can I fuck this up?
Honestly, it's actually just getting
He's-
embarrassing at this point.
It
'cause, like,
is.
it's like, you know, you're still my prime minister. Like, as much as I hate you, like, you do technically represent us, and like, I don't like.
Like, I
what
can
this is
hate him all I
representing.
want, but like if he starts doing shit which well, I suppose not just benefits me, but benefits the way in which I perceive the world to be better, I'll start giving him credit. But he has done literally nothing in favor of at least me, and I'm privileged. He's done nothing for me. Like,
know,
why should
right?
I like him? His government has fucked me over. I can't imagine what it's like to be, you know, people who are in worse situations than I'm in.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean,
Like,
it's just, oh, nah, it's just frustrating.
And it's
Also, it
piled on.
couldn't-
So,
I couldn't find the meme properly, so you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do the budget way special, and we're just gonna like I'll prep it, and then once you've got it on my I've got it on my screen.
This just
you
started
can-
because I wanted to justify me being a bully. Justify
Hell,
me being a bully.
You're
all-
not being
all
a
I
bully.
like.
You are not being a bully. You are giving fair criticism to someone who's doing a bad fucking job that you help pay him do. Because again, I'm going to repeat this. We pay Christopher Luxon to do a bad job right now.
We are paying him, and he's doing a bad job. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not intentionally paying him to do a bad job. He just is doing a bad job.
Do you want to chuck me up on the screen, please? This was the
Nah.
second half of the memes because it was in a chat
Oh,
and I had
gosh.
a screenshot, but Raijin came in with a funny meme and I thought it was hilarious because it really is a good question. Who did
Is
it
that
better?
actually a photo
John Key?
John Key? Is that actually
Yeah,
the
do you
photo?
not remember that photo? Oh yeah, that's a
Can you zoom? Can you just zoom in just for shits and
Can
giggles?
I don't think I can. I can open the picture.
There you go.
There you
So we
go.
can get the glory of whatever that is. Really?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. That's the worst.
I mean,
that's
John
an
Key was a
unfortunate
kooky
photo.
guy. He was a kooky guy, pulling hair, ponytails, and absolutely glucking on a fucking hot dog. I'm so sorry. I just said gluck on the internet.
Oh jeez.
But also, I
Uh.
did agree with this comment here. He is the glizzy goat. So that is that brings us back from whatever the fuck we were talking about before.
Political I mean, like media photographers, especially when it comes to politicians, must get the worst freeze frame type photos. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, damn it, I
Also,
can't put this one out
Raijin-
there. And then there's an opportunity, they're like, yes, I get to use it.
I know,
I get to
right?
use it.
But also, Raijin Key is the glizzy gladiator, and you know what? I respect that.
Oh,
That is
no.
fucking beautiful. We should probably read some super chats though.
We should. I'm so sorry, guys. I was
Yeah,
between me
it's-
ranting and God
It's
knows
been
what
a
else.
long week, guys. I'm still low-key
I
hungover
feel a bit
from
more.
work.
I feel good now. Maybe Chewy's got a thing. Maybe he like
See?
pins it up during the
This
day,
is-
and then he's like, rah!
The foo-foo valve.
the foo-foo.
And also, I will
Oh.
also point out how, sometimes it's good to have things be, expressive and intense, almost like a haka or some kind of just intense display
Well, I mean,
of your emotions.
if the right want to get so fucking aggravated about bathrooms, I get fucking aggravated about how Luxon's spending my money. So there you go.
Right? I know, right? It's almost like yours is probably a better reason.
Yeah, like, come on. Anyways, right, super chaps. Thank you, the POM. Thank you, David Seward, for uniting Māoridom. The Hikoi was a beautiful thing. I agree. And I would love to see the history books accidentally rewrite him as the uniter of Māori. Because it will forever be funny. But it wouldn't, actually, now I think about it. Fuck you. Alright, next one. Hey, Shad, Taikato? Sorry, I'm just ruining people's
Taikato.
names now. Taikato, thank you. I always get, they didn't even have the wheel. Like, what the fuck are we gonna do with the wheel in Pacific Ocean? It's a fair point.
Ah, that is
Not gonna
such
bring
a
it
good
up
point,
through the forest and up those mountains either.
right?
I love it.
Oh, that's
Um,
beautiful.
I need to fire up a game of Civilization. I was thinking this. It's like a game of Catan. Like, trade your resources. I was thinking the same thing.
That's why all
Rage
of us
being posed?
nerds are so outraged, because this is bad strats.
You could do better in Catan. Detective. Oh no, Detective Rogers. I'm so sorry. You said a thing and I accidentally got rid of it. I'm so sorry,
Hold on, I'll
dude.
find it. I'll go find
You might be able
it.
to find it. It was bright yellow. Loving this
Yeah.
Friday show. Good vibes into the weekend. Thanks, Gareth. I appreciate it. Thanks for your super chat.
Reading chats.
Thanks, the POM. Ems, you're the ginger beard. You get the ginger beard award this week. I don't know. I don't know if I do. Chewy's Fufu Bell was definitely popping off. Gonna need another
Alright,
one.
I found it. Detective
thank you.
Rogers. Thank you for $25, you absolute mad lad. Had some turnaround good luck. Turns out I was paying too much tax during the Labour government. Hey, Labour bad. Look, guys.
Labour
There
bad!
it is.
Labour bad!
I looked at my IRD
Victory!
and they owed me a lot. Glad to steal some IRD dollars from the Simians. Pothole fun. Te rangi Māori e me te aroha. Aw, I
Love
love
it.
that. Labour bad and fuck Simeon. That's a great
Hey, it's
message, you know
legitimate
what?
Labour bad. You know, that's
Yeah,
fine.
see, National will right this whole time, guys. We better pack up and go home.
Oh. All right, let's get to the last of these. Fufu fun frames. Thanks. Nah, kihi. Nah, we don't need one for me. It's all right. My valve is still strong. Him just standing up for us by bullying Luxon. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, I am. My 1 hour a
You're
week.
being a buffer. A buffer to
being a
Luxon.
Being a buffer.
Yeah.
Um,
There was a couple
cool.
of chats that I'll just get to that I had starred in there. Someone said they feel that my name should be the same, that my hair should be the same color as my name. That's kind of why I avoid it, to be honest. And technically, it's in the
just in
ends,
there.
people. It just, I cut my hair. It's a bit short at the moment.
Yeah.
Also, the only household crimes they care about is fashion crimes. And honestly, national are a fashion crime. Like, let's just
The
say,
puku hanging out of Dux's shirt and
just
bright
in
pinks.
general.
Actually, no, I can deal with the bright pink
If you
suits.
look at the opposition, their fashion is fucking on.
It's because Wawidi, sorry, is that
Rawiri.
correct?
Rawiri,
Rawidi, sorry.
Yeah.
Rawidi. He's fashion icon. He's pulling everyone down. Like he's standing tall. Every time I see him on camera, I'm like, you got it.
Oh,
You got it.
so good. And then I also, I just wanted to kind of put this message out there. I agree, CB. They're saying, I mean, it's nice that our queers in Parliament are out now. The idea that they weren't queers up in there all along is frankly laughable. And obviously I agree because, yeah, there
Well,
have always
that's
been
a good
queer people in
point.
Parliament. They have just, and
Robertson.
that's again, yeah. And that's why
Robertson, I didn't know for the I just didn't assume, but like I didn't know for the longest time. And I was like, wait, what?
Oh, yeah.
It's unexpected because he's not like it's not like the stereotype, right? It's just he's just a guy doing
yeah, and
his-
that's the
doing
thing
his
is
thing.
people always make these stereotypes and try to make one minority be homogenous, and it's like not all Maori look like fucking kumara. Not all queer people are mincing around and fucking flicking fucking rainbows
Really, like,
everywhere they go.
cha-cha-cha?
Although I
Shaka-
kind of
okay.
do. So if you meet me in person, you might get glitter on you. Sorry, but you know, not every queer person is like that. Just some of us are. So, like, again, that's why you just don't assume because it makes an ass out of you and
You
me.
and me.
Exactly. I also liked the trans men are like lesbians, invisible, and hehe, I see you.
Let me see.
Did we
Uh,
put this super chat up?
No, we didn't. Have we got time?
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, surely. I mean, it's been a long week. The boys went late last night. Why not?
Yeah.
So Mr. Alex
Glad to do it.
789 for $10. Just wanting M's and Magenta's opinion in regards if it is time to ban the sale of fireworks. Also, there is a push by the SPCA, Fire Emergency New Zealand, NZ Veterinary Association animates to ban fireworks, which is a very big
Yes,
topic.
it is. Like I'm all for fireworks. I love them. They're fantastic. But now that I have pets and they get really fucking scared by it, and I also don't know where the fireworks are going off, and the cats are outside, that freaks me out. They definitely do not like fireworks. But I also, especially when we've got such dense neighborhoods and suburbs now, and there's not a whole lot of like big backyards and things, it's not really appropriate to have them because they're literally right outside my window because there's a driveway there because there's nowhere else to put them.
Yeah.
So
Oh, you know, we
And
had
you've
the
got,
same
like,
thing.
8
We had people
houses
doing it
around
between
me.
buildings in Wellington, you know, like the buildings
Yeah.
are like this, and we had people
Yeah.
who were letting off like 10 shots in between 3 different buildings, and like I'll be
Yeah.
honest, it did freak me out because
Yeah.
I agree. Like I think, you know, when I was a kid, it was a bit different because most of us tended to live in big sections. There was a lot more.
Yeah, or you
room
just
for
go to the park
things.
that's over the fence. Type
Yeah,
deal,
or exactly.
right?
You had a park close by that you could just lug some stuff over. But I mean, personally, I don't see the point in having them available for sale. I do think that maybe we can have, like public displays, because also
Yes.
the public displays actually have the good fireworks. I think my main issue
They're so
is
much
also
better than your dad like trying to light it and it's too wet outside. He misfires
not
and
even that,
mislights
they
it,
just
and then you're
suck
like,
now.
"Oh, that was lame."
They're just pathetic. Like, you spend $100 and you get
Oh yeah.
fuck all. And like, to be honest, they're literally not worth the bang for buck. And all they do, like, and then when you then consider the issues around, the trauma to animals, to people who may have just traumas in general with certain sudden loud noises, like it feels like there's more cons than pros personally. And I actually just saw a comment about drone displays. I actually love those. I've seen some drone display videos. I don't know if you've
They're
seen
cool.
them, but yeah, drone
Mhm.
display videos, like, and again, because that would be a lot more like, yes, drones are still using resources from the planet, but if we have some that we're just reusing all the time, that's so much better than the, shoot. And because also, again, it's not great for not just animals on land, but animals in the ocean.
Yeah.
Because actually airplanes can actually mess with whales. Like the signal, the frequencies they can hear are actually interfered with. And I think like the noise that planes make actually is heard by things in the ocean. So there are other issues. It's not just land.
And it's not just 2 days a year. Like I've heard them going off like this week, and it's what, the 22nd. So
people always hoard them too for like New
Yeah.
Year's, Christmas. And then obviously, if people, it's just one of those things of like, it'd be great if we could trust that everyone could just have access to them and it would be all good. But like, it just doesn't seem to be worth the squeeze. That's it, really. Don't want to ban them completely. Would like to have some public displays, but I personally think the public sale is unnecessary.
Oh, a show. Shall we? I think we need to reel out the evening. I think that's all I've got now. Is there anything
I
else?
just saw
that
this
we've...
funny message that says, still have this shit. Well, you can't spell
Yeah.
colonial without colon. Oh.
Hell yeah.
And apparently Marzipan rocks. Their feminist origin story is, when I was told girls couldn't be fighter pilots in New Zealand after watching Top Gun as a kid, I was outraged. And I love that for you. You should be outraged. That's bullshit. Like, my mom was told she couldn't do construction, but like, people can just do stuff. Funny that.
You can do whatever they want.
Let's get some out of context memes going.
Are you ready? Are you ready, kids? I don't know what the volume's like, so I apologize in advance. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
I'm here. Welcome back to another episode. Chewy, sir. Good evening to you.
Kia ora, Pat. Not only is my teacup full, but my cup in general is full.
Kia ora, Chewy. How are you, love?
Kia ora, Pat.
Oh, look what you're wearing. Can I see? What is it? Oh,
You've got a similar.
what am I wearing?
What have we got here?
What do I have to do for $230,000? Winnie believed we could do a 9-hour show. Like, there seems just to be so much to talk about
Our
tonight.
job. You're supposed
I
to do
know.
the weather and 45 minutes of miscellaneous sporting content.
Sports ball. Anything else really quickly, Chewy? Because we've got a lot to get to.
I just think about airplanes. What a dangerous place.
What the fuck is that?
I have never made eye contact with anyone.
Woo woo! Feels a lot better, eh?
I'm middle-aged.
It's no different.
The arrogance.
Must. It's pronounced fuck offshore.
That's a lot of fucking people. That's my learned estimation.
You okay, Chewy? You want a hug?
No, it continues. The rest of the show is more rage. More rage all the time. Hīkoi, not Hikoi. That was the groundswell one with the tractors.
Daddy, you need to punish them more harshly. You know,
Printer
by
machine goes burr.
the bewitching hour.
But
Right
Pat
on.
turns into a pumpkin.
Can I just get acknowledgement of using the word dodecahedron?
Oh.
hurty feelings. Oh,
This is how the sausage is made.
this is the sausage, mate.
That's what Seymour is. He's jellyfish man.
The knob jockey is riding chlamydia in the 4th at Alexandra Park.
Winston is a hard negotiator. He's been in the game since before negotiation was invented. I'm pretty sure he came up with it.
I'm subtle like Luxon trying to walk away from the treaty principle bill.
People ask me why I blow my foo-foo valve. This is why. I'm on my 4th fucking foo-foo valve in the last 6 months. Foo-foo valves are not cheap. I want the free-range, ethically sourced foo-foo valves. I won't get them from battery farms.
Elitist soy boy. All we need to do is get everyone together and play table tennis and everything will be okay. Okay, little tiny tangent. Do you lift up your skirts and flash each other? Water pressure is amazing. Foo-foo fun fee. Go on.
Foo-foo fun fee. Foo-foo fun fee. Foo-foo fun fee.
Are you going to say drip?
Please acknowledge Te Pāti Māori drip. The man's a clothes horse. Damn. Bless. My other favorite was Toi to Your Mum. No, I'll shut up because you're dropping hints. And the other guys.
Who are the other guys?
The Labour Party.
Oh, sorry. I'll let you unmute yourself. Sorry.
are the other
That's a good one.
guys?
Who are the other guys? Oh, yeah, Labour. Oh, what
Actually,
fun, what
speaking of
fun.
Labour, I totally forgot to put that tiny little snippet in. Kicking myself. Hottie McAnulty was in it.
Ah!
I mean, it's really quick if you want to see it. It's only like probably 30 seconds, 40 seconds.
Okay. And then I'll also pile on. Oh my god, we're 20 to 11. All right.
It's
Yes.
fine. It's fine.
Still got 300 people here. We're good. They're loving it.
Because I got sent this right before the show. So, like, this was a last minute addition to the show because obviously people know that when it comes to Kieran McAnulty, we're in because.
Hottie McAnulty.
Exactly. So here is Hottie McAnulty absolutely just giving shit to Simeon. It's so funny.
And Brown's chirping up. This is a man who has been on fewer farms than Erica Stanford has called Jan Tinetti names. He has come from the heart of Auckland. He might be a member of the National Farm Party, and I recognise that they have farmers, but Simeon Brown is not one of those. Remember that time he stood on the side of the road with a shovel and pretended he would dig a hole? His shovel wasn't even dirty and his boots weren't even dirty. Look, I will take contributions from the likes of Mike Butterick, who I respect, and the other farmers in that, but I will not stand here and be chirped at by a bloke who's never even visited a farm. Madam.
Yes.
So that's allowed? He just roasted him.
Yeah, but it's white men doing it. They're allowed to do it. Remember, white men can do whatever they want in the house. It's just it's the lefties and the women that aren't allowed to, and the brown people. You know.
Okay.
But to be fair, we love Kieran, so hey, if I don't care. I don't care.
No
as long as
bias.
we get away
No
with
bias at all.
that.
What do we say? This is the Chair McAnulty.
Yes. But yes, this
Speaking
was breaking sent to me right before the show. That's why I forgot. Sorry, people.
This is my contribution to this week's Hikoi. I'm sorry, it's
you colored it in.
Did.
I got to see the sketch, and I'm excited to see the finish.
Can anyone tell me who these two characters are?
Oh,
It was
the
a toasty roast.
glasses. The glasses are so good.
I saw Chippy in the background, standing there with his glasses, and I could not control myself. It was the most hilarious thing. And then you showed me the photo of McAnulty with his glasses going like, yeah, cool. I was like,
And
this
for
needs
anyone,
to be
for anyone who
needs to
hasn't
be a
seen the
thing.
photo that we're referencing, you can go to either me or M's Blue Sky to see the picture,
and then just
or
look,
the Labour
or
Party.
go to Blue Sky and look
IG.
up hashtag Hottie McAnulty.
Hottie McAnulty. Yes. And
That's
if you
all.
want to share it with the hashtag Hottie McAnulty, we want to try get that going before the end of the year.
And very lastly, because we are very much, I think we might be eclipsing the boys at this point. All right, last call. It is the Nikki No Boats t-shirts, which are currently. What have we got left? We've got the smalls, the mediums, the extra larges in black, and we've got only the large and extra large left in the blues of the on the BHN store. So do get those ASAP. Once they're gone, they're gone. I think there's very few of these left.
Yes, the Beardy Boys.
Oh, there you go. One on IRL.
Right?
Yeah, there's only small and larges of those, so.
Yes, there's not many left. I mean, as it is, this is definitely not a I can fit it Beardy. Like, let's just say I tried this one on, and I make Pat's face look a little weird when I put it on. It gets a bit stretched out.
And there are tons of hoodies because, good point, no one wears a hoodie in summer, but I
can't
do.
believe you guys wear hoodies during. That's why I need to actually when we have our meetup, I might have to see if I can get something printed on a t-shirt because I'm not going to be able to wear this for much longer.
It's pretty cold in Dunedin. You'll be fine.
That's what I mean. But I don't shoot the show from Dunedin all the time.
That's
like, I can
a good
wear this in
yes.
Dunedin, but when I get back, what am I going to wear?
Gotcha. Gouda pointer.
I need like a summer, because some of us actually get warm in the summer.
Alrighty, let's send off the last of the super chats.
Oh, is there a thing? I just saw Gary Childs saying, anyone wants to join me in Parliament Gallery wearing Nikki Noboat's gear for December 10 to 12?
How freaking
If I have some, yeah, for sure. But
Oops, all right. I think we're done. Any last things to note? Anything before the weekend we need to mention?
Oh shit! Yeah, we kind of need the whole community notice board that I fucking spent time working on today. That would be smart to share real quickly.
It's just the theme of the week.
Oh mate, it's been such a good week, but such a long week because
it's been a week. It's been a week.
I feel like I have been running non-stop. Here we go. We will. So we have submissions. I now have a template.
Oh,
look how pretty and professional it looks, people. I did work on this. So for 28th of November, these are the closing dates. You've got the Budapest Convention and Related Matters Legislation Amendment Bill. The 4th of December, you've got the Statutes Amendment Bill. 6th of December, Child Protection, parentheses, Child Sex Offender Government Agency Registration, parentheses, Amendment Bill. On the 8th of December, we've got the Oversight of Oranga Tamariki System Legislation Amendment Bill. On the 11th of December, we have Responding to Abuse and Care Legislation Amendment Bill. And on the 19th of December, we have Evidence, parentheses, Giving Evidence of Family Violence, parentheses, Amendment Bill. And for all of your submissions needs, you can scan the QR code on screen. And hopefully we're going to work, because I didn't actually check it before the show, so fingers crossed that did work. And yeah, obviously there's a bunch of submissions. We'll probably talk a little bit more next week about the mental health submission too. So remember to put in your submissions, because we need to continuously tell this government to stop being dicks. Yeah, I agree.
Nice,
Where's the new government amendment bill? Maybe we should see if we can make one of those. Surely we write to your local MPs. Ask them if it's possible.
All right. I think we're done for the night.
Now
We've had
we're
a great
done.
one. Thank you everyone for watching. This has been fun. And yeah, we'll see you again on, well, Pat and Chewie will see you on Monday. We'll see you again next Friday. So let's play out the outro, baby. Oh, and just before I say anything else, I'm so sorry, Pat. This is last week's one, so the new Patreons aren't on there. I'm so sorry. But we do appreciate all of our patrons, especially ones that were on that joined us. Thank you.
Yes.
But
Which
Pat will
also new
definitely give me the correct file next
patrons,
time.
We should hopefully see you tomorrow morning.
Yes, don't forget.
If you
patrons,
want, if you
11 o'clock.
Patreon, 11 o'clock tomorrow. And also, just as a sneaky little thing for people, next week's show will be the last week that will be here for a minute, because the week after we might be together in the same room for so you know might be a bright Hearing News sleepover. Let's go. Anyway, now
roll
we
the
can roll the
credits.
credits.
Help us settle a debate, whether it be thoughtful or funny, even if we're all creatures of hate. It's a fine line that we're walking together. For better, push aside the temptation to berate. Let's take a note of the corners we stand in. As many points as the hairs on my chinny chin chin. When the news that we're watching is hairy, knowing all the things that we need to be wary of. Like the rich have the hand out for rewards, while the many have to work out what they can afford. And the rest of us ain't paying attention, or maybe have questions we're too worried to mention. Other media is still dwelling on trivial facts, vetting bees from the rice and the mice from the rats, and picking and choosing a warpath to run, and linking ourselves with the hill to die on. It's gotta come down to a welcoming vibe, with an A and a self and a higher in mind. All heavily either this way or that, and we'll be analyzed by what Chewy and Pat. With the evil in the world trying to mess with your head, and you're sitting on the couch, you're thinking chivalry's dead. Each night, 2 nights, they're gonna sing you to bed. It's Big Hairy News.
Thanks for having us on this beautiful Friday. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. If you're a patron, I'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Magenta, hopefully you'll join us as well.
Yeah, assuming it is
anything
somehow
to say
linked to
before we
my
go?
life. Nah, honestly, take some time away from the news, I think. Do something good for yourself. Like, just fill your cup in whatever way you can this weekend, I reckon. And as always, keep cool till after school, I guess.
Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Love you lots. Bye.